Everybody's ego takes a shot on this show.
You gotta keep your chill with Jim, Matt, and Molly.
I am savage.
So you're not special.
Jim, if we want to play this game, we can play this game.
And I'm just like, oh my God, this guy's going to swing on Jim. He's a complicated fellow.
People like me.
I don't think so.
This is Jim, Matt, and Molly. Presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN.
We're learning a lot about each other.
Murr.
It's Murr.
I'm the problem, it's Murr.
Mister, I did properly and correctly predict that game. And I'm not taking a lot of credit because I've done this before.
That is absolutely ridiculous.
You're like, what? What just happened?
Exactly. I was like, no way. How is this possible?
That's a mistake.
Who is this team?
I'm already tired, by the way. Just
right.
hearing all of this, I'm already tired and exhausted.
It was, it was a day.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio in downtown Madison, alongside John Audius. Here's Jim Rutledge.
It is Jim, Matt, and Molly. We are not in the Everlight Solar Studio. We are at North and South Seafood Smokehouse in Verona. We are here because John Audius, Kelly Sheffield, along with Sarah Franklin and others from Badger Volleyball will be here at 6 o'clock for a Q&A session, along with you can get some photos, maybe ask nicely for an autograph, an opportunity to meet some key members of the great Badger Volleyball team, and Sarah Franklin, a Badger Volleyball legend, will be here later as well, so we are thrilled to be here. Like I mentioned, I'm alongside John Audius. Primetime Warshine back at the Everlight Solar Studio. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly. No Matt, no Molly, but Ryan, today at least we have a co-host for a whole show, and John. That's a good step up, right?
It's much better than our half co-host yesterday. Yeah, Alex G did a good job from 4 to 5. If only he could, really put in a full show. Yeah, honestly.
But it really was the end game for the show. That it would end up just being Jim, Matt, and Molly, with the reliability of Molly having to have babies and Matt tending his baby curling. That it was going to be one of those things where it just wasn't. It was just going to end up with me. You can see us on the YouTube page. I love, John, the setup here where it has Eat North South, hashtag Eat North South above us. It really is something I think we should add lights to our Everlight Solar Studio signage, because it really does frame us well. We are presented by Coors Light. Prime. If the mountains are blue, you know what to do.
And that's Crush, a Coors Light.
We had a couple Siding Unlimited poll questions yesterday, John, that I wanted to get your thoughts on, and you can chime in if you want to chime in on these again on the Carbless Talk and text line. List is more 844-770-3776. And the first one, let's start with the less inflammatory one that I had out there, because people were big mad on Facebook as well. Maybe, Prime, you can pull up some of the Facebook comments that people had with my Chiefs-related one.
I try to stay away from Facebook as much as possible, guys.
Bring
those up. I want to hear that.
I agree, but they were fun. People were very mad. I had to remind Pablo that Pablo Iglesias, who runs our social media, I am more than comfortable being the bad guy. But, John, first question I want to ask you, and you can chime in on it again if you're listening and you want to answer this. The polls are closed on it. But what's the biggest reason the Packers didn't make the Super Bowl this year? Jordan Love or Matt LaFleur? We're making it very much a binary choice. I'm a big fan of that because obviously there's a million reasons why. But realistically, it's coach and quarterback is what you need to do to win. Those are the two most important things. 61% of our fans said Jordan Love.
Yeah, I was going to go with Jordan Love because, so if you're making me choose either or, and it's coach or player, I understand coaches have their plans, players execute those plans. So I'm going to say if I had to pick one person, it would probably be Jordan Love out of those two. So I would agree with the 61%.
I agree. The case made against LaFleur is that he had Aaron Rodgers and didn't win. And so maybe he is the problem. Taylor Swift style, he's the problem. Hi, it's me. It's Matt LaFleur. I'm the problem. But I think, and I don't even think it's Jordan Love's problem. I think the problem is the Packers maybe have outsourced ideas of what Jordan Love is. And we talked a little about this yesterday, that I think the problem that Coach LaFleur has with Jordan Love and Goody has with Jordan Love, and we're going to get into Goody in a minute, is that they might have to view him as Baker Mayfield, Brock Purdy, Jared Goff, even Sam Darnold. Really good quarterbacks that you can get to a Super Bowl with, but all those other teams built lots of great talent around them. Look at Detroit's skill players. Look at San Francisco's. Look at even Minnesota's. They are all more established and a higher level than what the Packers currently have. They have a bunch of young guys. We're still trying to figure out what they're going to be. Halfway through the year, we thought Reed was going to be the next St. Brown, and Reed flatlined. Maybe it's Tucker Kraft, but I don't know. If we just saw what happened with Jaden Reed, maybe Tucker Kraft, what he was last year, is what he'll be, which is a top 10 tight end, and that's a good player, but it's still not a field shifter. And so I starting to think that the Packers have to look at Jordan Love not as the next Patrick Mahomes or Aaron Rodgers, but as the next quarterback like Brock Purdy, like Jared Goff, all really good, all Pro Bowl caliber. All Brock Purdy's been to Super Bowl, so has Jared Goff. But guys you need to build with talent around them, not like Mahomes is winning with a aged Kelsey and Xavier Worthy, who's a young player who's very inconsistent, and a bunch of guys who are very much hodgepodge put together. That's very rare you can win like that.
I think no matter what Jordan Love turns into, because I'm not ready to close the door on getting to that elite. I'm with you. I think he's not there yet. We know that. I'm not ready to close the door on that, but whether he's elite, whether he's some of these other quarterbacks you named, you still need talent. I mean, you still want talent around them to make the team as best as possible. So whether or not he is that guy or he is a better elite type of quarterback, you still want the talent around him, right? I mean, You still want to build, obviously, that team to give him the best opportunity. And you were I think you said something earlier there in your rant, kind of like, what's the problem? Maybe the problem with the Packers this year was the Eagles. You know what I mean? Like so often we're like, this season was a failure because you lost in your first playoff game. This season was a failure because of that. Maybe the issue is they ran into a team that's going to play for a Super Bowl title. You know what I mean? So perhaps our view, I'm not saying that the Packers are going to win the NFC North next year, but maybe the view of the Packers is a little skewed simply because of matchups.
It could be.
I'm not saying that is the only thing, but it's something to consider, I think.
It is, but they haven't. I'd buy that more if it was back in the day of the NFC Championship games. Like, they're not getting to that last game. Mm-hmm. I think it's more coincidence than causational that they're losing to the team that got to the Super Bowl. Because to the Jordan Love side of things, Jordan Love will turn 27 during the football season next year. Ooh. Patrick Mahomes has only turned 30 during the football season next year. But so my point is that Jordan Love, with 4 years in the league, or 3 years in the league sitting, now 2 years in the league as a starter, he'll be going into his sixth year, turning 27 years old, having made nearly 40 college starts and now, nearly 40 NFL starts. He's probably closer to a finished product. Doesn't mean he can't have an outlier season, but he's probably closer to a finished product of what he's going to be, and each year he'll get marginally better. But the jump from a guy who's, again, I like Jared. Jared Goff is a good quarterback. Brock Purdy is a good quarterback. Like, those are, even Dak Prescott. I'm not talking about the failures in the playoffs or chokes for Dak. I'm just saying of that caliber. Jordan Love, if he's Dak Prescott with a little bit more, clutch factor, then maybe the Packers can get there. But it might be, or even let's say even Eli Manning, who was a quarterback who was good. And my whole point on quarterbacks is that elite is very, very few and far between. Mm-hmm. And Mahomes right now, probably Lamar and Joe Burrow and Josh Allen, off the top of my head. I mean, Jalen Hurts is playing his second Super Bowl. I still wouldn't call him elite.
Right.
But he's a better winner, and that's with the team around him, but he's gotten to 2 Super Bowls.
No, I think you're probably onto something, that he's probably closer to a finished product, but that's still, like I said, I'm not going to close the door simply because I just saw Sam Darnold at the same age.
Yes.
Just kind of explode and be like, now that guy's an MVP candidate, apparently. So, yes, it can happen where you kind of take that next step, but I think you make a great point about Patrick Mahomes. He's 29 years old.
Yeah, so he'll turn 30 in September, and Jordan Love will turn 27 very early in November.
But even if Mahomes is at that tier below, guys, I'm telling you, Packers fans, please listen to the perspective, and Jim will probably say this for his Bears, from the perspective of a team that does not have that guy, or every once in a while, like the Vikings this year, has that guy. It is so hard to even get that guy.
Right.
Don't be spoiled because he's not at the tier above, the rare. If you're pulling like baseball cards, he's not like the super rare.
Yeah.
But he's still pretty dang good. It's still a pretty good insert. You know what I mean? I don't know why I just went with baseball card analogies.
I gotcha.
I've lost a ton of people there, but he's still good. Don't. That's a hard thing to still get.
And I'm with you on that. It's not in my opinion, it's not disparaging to say that Jordan Love might just be Jared Goff. And Jared Goff has been to two NFC Championship games at least and one Super Bowl. He might have gotten to another one with the Rams. And he's won the division in the NFC North 2 years in a row. Mm-hmm. They're the favorites next year to go win it again. I'm sure the Lions will be. So now, because, the Lions are losing coaches, but you have to give Dan Campbell the benefit of the doubt. If he brought in Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn, that you have to assume the next line of coaches he's going to bring in offense, it's more just promoting people. And in defense, same thing. That you have to give them the benefit of the doubt that says, hey, he knows how to hire coaches. Much like Mike Vrabel, who had Coach LaFleur and then Arthur Smith. Now, Arthur Smith's not a great head coach, but a good offensive coordinator. So Vrabel's been able to pull offensive coordinators, so you got to assume that he can continue to do that. And I'm going to give Dan Campbell the benefit. And, by the way, the Lions are going to be phenomenally healthier, let's assume, next year. They're one of the most injured teams in football on the defensive side of the ball. That's probably not going to repeat itself. So the Lions are going to be around. Jared Goff could win a third division title. He definitely won at least one or two with the Rams. So, again, that's not a knock on him. Most teams, including, you're excited about J.J. McCarthy. I'm excited about Caleb Williams. I still would, if you just guaranteed me they turned into Jared Goff, we'd probably just take it. Great.
Oh, yes.
Got it. Done. I'll just take that, and I'll throw away the top-end ceiling.
Do you think Packers fans realize that? Because I'm bonding with the Bears fan in that sense, because it'd be like, if you told me we'll give you that right now, I'll be like, yes, sign it up. Let's see what happens.
There's no Aaron Rodgers window, but there's no bottoming out. It's going to be Jared Goff. I'm in.
Oh, yeah.
I would take that in a heartbeat. Prime, you're the resident Packer fan on the show. Do you think, and JB and Naveed just chimed in about Packer fans being spoiled, so I want to get your thoughts on it.
So spoiled by it.
I am not calling it a knock against Jordan Love if he turns out to be Jared Goff.
Yeah,
what are your thoughts?
I would say that is one of the saddest conversations I've ever heard, what you guys just did there. Talking about Jared Goff, you'd be happy if your franchise quarterback ends up being him. You guys got J.J. McCarthy, Caleb Williams. The ceiling is the sky for you guys, and you're stopping short at you're stopping short at what is it? Not
because
I'm stopping short at a quarterback who's played in the Super Bowl.
I mean, he played.
Let me explain this, because you are used to success year after year after year. When you sometimes go in and say, oh boy, the ceiling's the whatever, and the ceiling never gets there, you start to say, you know what, I think I might just take a little less than the ceiling, because it's either the ceiling or the basement. When you never have the basement, you don't understand how good middle of the road is, or above average. Not even middle of the road.
Right.
What you guys are talking about doesn't even sound like a two-story house.
I think Jared Goff has had more 4,000-yard seasons than he's had 3,000-yard passing seasons. His career QB rating is 96.
That's scale 158, right?
What's that?
That's on a scale of 158?
Yeah.
Okay.
111 was his QB rating last year. The year before that, 97.9. The year before that, 99.3. God, Caleb Williams is going to be good with Ben Johnson. But I would say
it could be Jared Goff. Who knows?
Can you imagine getting 30?
If Caleb Williams has a Jared Goff season next year, that is a remarkable season for a second-year player who's 24 years old.
True.
That would be a massive jump for him in his only second year in the league.
But you have to give the Bears
from the V chimes in, we are spoiled. The fact is, we've had Hall of Fame quarterback play for 30 years. Now you're telling us not to be spoiled and accept Jordan Love? No, draft a young QB and develop him behind Love. Loser mentality. So JB from the V is the class, and I'm not disrespecting it, but he's kind of like the country club kid who's like, I am not driving a used BMW, Mom. You got to give me the top of the line Mercedes, whatever car it is you want. That's what JB from the V is saying. Meanwhile, I'm saying I love my truck from Simmons Chevy in Mount Horeb, and if it's a truck that I can have and enjoy for a good 15 years, I'll take it, because that means I'm getting where I need to go, and I'm having an enjoyable year every year with a reliable car. This guy's like, nope, I'd rather risk a car maybe blown up on me because I don't like the one I have now.
To defend a little bit perhaps his perspective on that commentary, you can still bring in someone else. You bring up the example of Jared Goff. Why isn't he with the Rams anymore? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like someone gave up on Goff and said we'd rather have Stafford. You know what I mean? So I guess my point is, I don't think it's a bad idea to start getting backup plans for Jordan Love. And if you happen to strike gold and you think the situation's right, just like the Rams did with Goff, you can change the situation if you really think it's that dire. So to kind of defend what he's saying, it's not like the worst. I mean, obviously they're going to do that. They're a football team. They're not going to just be like, we have one quarterback and that's all we're ever going to have in our life.
So
they're going to develop guys, or at least attempt to.
Like the Packers drafting, I would like maybe Will Howard in the 3rd, 4th round. I'm guessing that's where he'll fall. Just looking at a QB ranking here is the 5th QB in the draft. I don't really know exactly how all the quarterbacks are going to fall, but if you had a chance to take a quarterback who maybe you feel a little bit iffy about, and Ryan, you're going to have to tell me if I'm missing on any of these guys, like a Quinn Ewers, he went to the draft, right?
He is going to the draft, but Jim, you said on yesterday's show that you were like all deep into the draft expertise right now. You were looking at like Cam Ward,
so
you're grading out Shedeur Sanders.
Well, no, Shedeur Sanders, Cam Ward, you're not taking those guys. Jalen Milroe, I think, was gone too early. Quinn Ewers could be a guy that you might be able to get. Dylan Gabriel, Will Howard, like a flyer guy later in the draft that still has potential to be a starter. Those guys, I think, would fall into that category. Like
now, do they fall into Goody's category?
I don't know. Quinn Ewers, let's say 5th round. He's available. As a Packer fan, the Packers draft Quinn Ewers. What's your thought?
We got Malik Willis. We're good. We got Malik.
Hold on.
Malik Believer.
Isn't he an older? Isn't he older though?
Oh, he could be 30 for all I know, but that doesn't matter. I mean, we only need him for like 1 to 2 more
25.
years.
I thought he's pretty
young.
He
turns 26. He turns 26 before the season starts.
So he's a full year younger than Jordan Love.
A whole year, huh?
A whole year. That's green.
A whole year.
Green. That's what I like. Green and gold.
But everybody was blaming Jordan Love on that poll question. By the way, to kind of circle back to it's all Jordan Love.
Yeah, it is.
Yes. And then I want to get this one out before we'll move to our poll question for today. Second side and limited poll question from yesterday, and you can chime in on this. The Cardinals Talking text line list is more, 844-770-3776. John, I'll give you the floor on it, and then we'll go to break. But I said you're a pathetic hater if you're rooting against the Chiefs. Now, there was an asterisk, to win their 3rd straight Super Bowl. The asterisk is, like, if you're an Eagles fan or if you're, like, a direct rival of the Chiefs. Okay, obviously that makes sense. But otherwise, if you're just out there being like, I don't like them because they win all the time. You know what's not interesting to me? Just some randos winning one-off Super Bowls. The opportunity to see something we've never seen before. I will always root for that. With the Patriots, I wanted to see how many they could win. Yeah. When they were 17-0, could they go get that title? Maybe it's because I grew up a Bulls fan, and I loved seeing, obviously, Jordan win 6 titles in his last 6 full seasons as a starter, back-to-back three-peats with a time off in between to play baseball. Like, those sorts of things are interesting to me, and I always I want to root for that. And so whether it's in, UNLV have an opportunity back in the day with the Running Rebels, those undefeated seasons, and that's always going to be special because we're never going to see that again. We see upsets all the time.
I'm 100% in. I said the exact same thing when the Patriots were still pushing. I'm like, listen, this is an opportunity to see something you'll never see again in your lifetime. So why would you not want the Patriots to be successful? So I fall exactly in your line. Listen, we get to watch Patrick Mahomes. When we look back, as we all get older and we look at the greats of the game, Patrick Mahomes, his name is going to be there. Yeah. And the amount of Super Bowls he collects, we all add to his legacy. So why would I not want to see one of the greatest players in the sport that I like watching succeed and set, standards that not everybody can reach? Of course I want to see that. I think you're being a little haterish if you're not rooting for that.
I will say the people on the ESPN Madison Facebook comments vehemently disagree with you guys, by the way.
Chiefs win.
You want to run that down real quick?
We do have Sam out there saying, for once, I agree with Jim, dipping Jim Rutledge.
There you go.
And then it looks like Matthew Heck right after him saying, who is Jim Rutledge? I am Jim Rutledge.
Pressure.
And then also saying, Rutledge is a bum who hates Wisconsin sports. Why does he even work for ESPN Madison? Jim thinks everyone Jim thinks everyone is pathetic, stupid, or, quote, in their feelings if they do not agree with him. And Matt Rutledge is the reason I listen to the Milwaukee feed. So
there you go.
Rounding sound of applause.
Those are my favorite ones
so
where
nobody
they
answered the question.
Right. They just mad about me. But those are my favorite ones where
there was one person who did.
Who have a very detailed and thought out of all the reasons they hate, but they never listen. Those are my favorite ones. I never listen, but let me tell you all the things I hate about Rutledge. Thank you for listening. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
Hey, this is Matt's Chicago Doppelganger. You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN Madison.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. end the friendship. Or choose chill, because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
The number 7 just got a whole lot luckier because of Pizza Hut's $7 Deal Lovers menu. Enjoy all your Pizza Hut favorites from pizza, pasta, boneless wings, melts, cheese sticks, desserts, and so much more. All for $7 each when you buy 2 or more. With this lucky deal, you don't have to choose between great taste and great value. You can have both at Pizza Hut. Order on the app or online at pizzahut.com today. Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
It's the 2024 model closeout sale at Zimbrick Chevrolet Sun Prairie. Save $10,000 on a 24 Silverado RST Crew Cab 4x4. Save $2,000 on a 24 Chevy Trax LT, and save $12,500 on a 24 Silverado LV with 0.9% APR available. Plus, save $11,500 on a 24 Blazer EV RS. Hurry, these closeout deals won't last for long. Visit Zimbrick Chevrolet Sun Prairie and ZimbrickChevrolet.com for details. Offers end January 31st.
Taxes was waiting around for your taxes to be done, which led to worrying about not getting any money back. Now Taxes is matching with a TurboTax expert who can do your taxes in a day to get you up to $4,000 fast with a refund advance loan. Now this is Taxes. Intuit TurboTax. Get an expert now on TurboTax.com. Expert filing only available with TurboTax Live Full Service. Refund advance has $0 loan fees and 0% APR. Refund advance loans may be issued by First Century Bank, N.A. or WebBank. Terms apply. Subject to approval.
Spring forward with real unlimited data from Straight Talk this tax season and get a free Samsung Galaxy A16 5G or Moto G Power 5G 2024 with select plans. So you can stream games during Mad March hours, check the weather for April showers, and watch gardening videos about May flowers. Straight Talk, real unlimited data. Available at Walmart and straighttalk.com. Offer valid through 4/15/25. Taxes and fees apply. Requires purchase of single line gold unlimited plan or higher. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com.
Hungry? Quick Trip's got you. Food's here, and it's hot and ready. Check out our appetizers, like crispy tornadoes, packed with bold fillings that'll keep you coming back for more. And experience Quick Trip Zesty Mini Tacos. Bite-sized, big flavor, and totally irresistible. No dinner plans? Take home and bake a freshly made Cheese Mountain pizza. So easy and delicious. Fuel up at your ultimate destination for snacks and meals that hit the spot. Only at Quick Trip.
In the next 30 seconds, I'm going to tell you how to save money and save the planet. It's simple. Ditch your energy bill and make the switch over to Everlight Solar. While electricity prices keep rising, Everlight Solar will give you the chance to take ownership of your power while also reducing your carbon footprint. As a local company based out of Madison, they'll be there with you every step of the way as you make the switch to solar. To learn more about how you can save money and save the planet, go to everlightsolar.com.
Join the Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock, for Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Get the information you need as you plan for retirement. That's Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Income Strategies, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Metro Kia Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealership.
Yeah, it's over, it's over. I'm circling these boxes, grabbing a brand, man, this hunger. I'm feeling something rotten, feeling kind of tilted, and I'm pouring out the truth. Just fading out these talkers, cause now all I want is you. I'm saying, come over here, sit next to me.
So, chiming in at Jim, Matt, and Molly, I want to see something new and different, like the same team in the championship every year, Jim Rutledge. What did I say? I want to see something new and different.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, did you say that? Did I miss it?
No.
I might have missed it.
Ryan, do we have context to this? Primetime Wallershine back at the Everlight Solar Studio. Jim Rutledge, John Adams with you live at North-South Seafood and Smokehouse in Verona. We are presented by Coors Light. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly.
I think maybe like you want to see something accomplished by having the Chiefs win three times, so something new and different.
So, Steven, if you can't understand that seeing something accomplished in winning 3 straight Super Bowls, which has never been done before, and that is
New and
Obviously,
different.
Yes, that falls in line with, though, you have to have a team repeating itself. So, Steven, we're stretching hard. You know who stretched harder, though? John. And I think, Ryan, maybe you agree with me on this. Can the Packers chill on they've been trying to start this campaign about, like, hey, we know something about 3 straight championships. Like, man, that ain't it. Like, we're talking about Super Bowls right now. Like,
Wait.
We're not talking about championships. We're talking about Super Bowls. This isn't practice.
Where have they been doing
Bowls.
this?
They put it on their own social media because I see it getting dunked on, and everyone's like, "What? I need to make everything about me all the time." It's been basically the most common retweet from the Packers.
That's social media managers going, hey, how do we stay relevant with content? That's what I see right there.
Private, you had something to say there?
Yeah, I saw that as well. As soon as I saw it, I thought about sending it to you, but I thought, you know what? I don't need this today. I don't need Jim Rutledge to see this and bring it up on the show.
I saw it.
So it's unfortunate that it got to you somehow. Whoever did that, I will find them and hold them responsible.
I saw, I think it was Lance Allen in Milwaukee put it out there, too, of like, after the Chiefs won, and they're like, the Packers, nobody cares. What was it, 1960-something?
I was going to say, what year are we talking? What year are these 3 straight? Like,
it was the 1960s. I believe it was 61 through 63.
None of them were Super Bowl. Like, that's, and obviously we're talking about, we've had this discussion before, John. I'm not sure if you've been a part of it. Mm-hmm. But, like, realistically, I look at anything prior to, like, 1990, and it's like, that what you did in that time is amazing, and I'm not saying that you weren't all-time great in that window, including, like, for example, my 85 Bears. Like, that's great. Mm-hmm. But let's just assume that's almost a different sport, especially if you watch football then to now. As the line of demarcation should 100% be when you didn't have to work 2 jobs. Like, if you had to work a second job to play in the NFL, we're talking about a different sport. I'm not denigrating what you did. You played in the era you played in, and you dominated that era. That domination still counts. Yep. But we cannot cross these eras over.
Yeah, that's something that's always, listen, I think if I were a Packers fans, I would be very happy about 13 NFL championships, but I would also hope that there would be some sort of discussion to say, hey, 1929 when Pottsville and who are these teams? You know what I mean? Like, you got to understand, like, I think you said it best if you needed to have 2 jobs, then maybe the league wasn't kind of at its peak. Yeah, which is fine, and you accomplished, and you can't take anything away from that.
You know what you've never heard me do? Is reference the Chicago Bears having a bunch of 9 titles. In the
sure, yeah.
Because nobody cares.
Because you understand the context of how those came.
Yeah. The only one that matters is 1985, and that was a long-ass time ago. I'm never referencing those things. You just put up a moratorium on referencing things from the 1920s, 40s, and 50s, 60s. Like, I get it.
It's still a long time ago at this point. Yeah. And we're still at 60 years ago or something like that,
Yeah, and again, I'm not saying what happened in that time, it shouldn't be honored and not great, but, like, that part to me matters. Eric and Green Bay, 3 in a row, 2 of them were Super Bowl. So Eric and Green Bay, not 3 Super Bowls in a row. And that is the point. And also, a billion years ago, when we're talking, because here's honestly the way I look at football from back in the day to now. Watch a game, even the highlights. Try to see highlights from a game from 1992. It looks like Tecmo Super Bowl. Like, you can't even figure out what's happening on the field, let alone to what's happening now. That, to me, that difference is a visual representation of the difference of football from back in the day to what it is now.
Yeah, totally agree, 100%. By the way, the 1929 team, these are the standings if you want to, I don't know. Packers first, the Giants and the Frankfurt Yellow Jackets were third. I really thought they had a better shot that year. Chicago Cardinals, the Boston Bulldogs. Don't forget about the Staten Island Stapletons back in that 29 season. Providence Steamrollers, the Orange Tornadoes. Don't even know where they played. The Chicago Bears, I've heard of them. Buffalo Bisons, Minneapolis Red Jackets, and the Dayton Triangles. So those are the teams.
And I've brought this up before, and I'm not trying to be inflammatory, but I think we can also draw a line about, like, schools were segregated in 1971. So can we talk about an era that's at least when kids could go to school together? Like that's how long ago this was. That when the Packers and the Bears and some of these teams were doing stuff in the 60s, people of different races couldn't go to school together. So that's what a different era it was. And so, like, we need to just put it in a silo and say this was a very long time ago. What the Packers did mattered, and it's in history, and it will always hold there. And what the Bears, their 9 titles, that's neat. But this is not football now. So do not try to conflate the Packers going to win 3 championships in a row, 2 of them being Super Bowl, 1 not being a Super Bowl, to anything close to what the Chiefs are doing right now.
Yeah, Ryan. Okay.
Hey, I wasn't here. I wasn't here
Green Bay
defending this
Packers.
one. I was not defending this one.
But I do, I did find the post. It does make sense. They're just trying to get clicks.
Yeah.
We know a thing or two about three-peat. And you click on it, and you're like, here's the Green Bay Packers history. So you just take a trip down memory lane. That's all that click is.
Yeah.
It's a link to the Hall of Fame on there, I think.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because, well, John, you'll appreciate this. We had this argument the other day. Like, if you are a 15-year-old Lions fan or a 15-year-old Vikings fan, the 15-year-old Packers fan, y'all got the same thing in common. Got no trophies in your life.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, and you're probably happier being a Lions fan than the Packers fan. I mean, especially because your sweet spot right now, you've won the division twice. You've beaten the Packers, 6 out of the last 7 times? So things get dusty. Like, I've stopped claiming the Cubs World Series. Like, at some point,
really?
I love it, but I'm not lauding it over. Like, I'm not being like, well, the Cubs got a World Series.
I would
a
be.
long time ago.
I would be. Like, if the Vikings won a Super Bowl, man, I'd ride that out to the day I'm gone. I'd be like, that'd be the thing.
Well, and again, the one
I still
caveat
ride
is,
out the 1991 Twins, man.
So do you? Well, and Vikings fans, Bears fans, I guess a little bit different on this. Like, you can't. I have a hard time claiming stuff that happened before I was born too.
Okay, yeah,
like,
yeah,
trying to claim again back to like the Packers claiming stuff before
Makes
you're born.
sense. Makes sense to me.
Like
yeah.
for me, I'm a Bulls fan, so I got 6 titles there. And a cup, so I at least got 7, and I remember the Bears. So I got 8 titles in my life. Like I've had actually pretty decent success.
Oh, you know what? That's a
teams.
great way to view your sports fandom in a way. Like you can't claim anything that you weren't. So for me, from Minnesota, I got 2 World Series titles. NFL, NBA, and I got 2 World Series titles. That's all I've got.
You know what? I wanted to get to Goody, but maybe we'll do that later. We got Jason Wilde coming up, so we might pocket Goody's conversation even tomorrow. Ryan, I want to pull this question. Fair or foul, or how do you want to word this, Ryan, but to claim titles for your team before you were born. Fair or foul?
We have
or
asked that before. We asked that 2 weeks ago.
We did?
Really?
Yes.
Actually, as a poll question?
Yes, we did.
What were the results?
I would have to go back and find it. It was a couple weeks ago, but I could find it for us.
I don't think we ever – I don't remember polling it.
We
I remember
polled it.
asking – we polled it?
We polled
Can you use but could you use those titles like in an argument with friends, like to prove that your team is more successful
This was the
overall,
exact
even though you did not?
conversation. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, we didn't have it with John. 844-770-3776. We don't have to post it as a side unlimited poll question, but I would like our listeners to chime in on a Carbless Talk and text line 844-770-3776. List is more. Is it fair or foul to claim titles from before you're born? Because honestly, I think it's foul. Like, I just think, like, I'm sorry you weren't a part of it. If you don't get to experience the joy of it, it ain't yours. Like, you're grasping at straws. Like, again, it kind of goes back to the pathetic loser side of things. Like, why are we grabbing things from a long-ass time ago?
So if you're older, then you can probably have a lot more what's the word I'm looking for? You could
you have a lot of titles, a lot of cachet. You get a lot. You got a lot to root for.
Felt like Green Bay to me.
If you're rooting for the right teams and areas. Like prime. So in your life, you got 1 Super Bowl?
Yes, I was born in 1999.
Okay, so you got 1.
More than me.
So I just missed the Brett Favre Super Bowl.
Or does the Favre era hold a lot of place in your heart?
I mean, when I really started watching football was when Aaron Rodgers took over at quarterback. So
Right. And like to me, like you're honestly claiming it just to argue with people. Because your fandom, like you have no ties to this. I like the 85 Bears, I remember being young. I remember dressing up. I remember being a big deal. But like I'm not claiming anything really before that because I didn't experience it.
Yeah.
It's not mine.
I think there's something there to that. I think, I think if you bring in stuff that happened before your time and your team hasn't done jack for 5, 10, 15, 20 years or whatever, and you're claiming those, it's kind of living in the past
Sun
in a
Prairie,
sense.
living in the past. Packers won first 2 Super Bowls after winning a world championship the year before. I don't get the argument the league wasn't as good. Fine. Put that argument aside, Ty. The Packers, what they never did, they never won or went to 3 Super Bowls in a row. It didn't happen, Ty.
Well, it's just a technicality.
But
really.
that's the truth. Like, if we're going to stick on it, that technicality, that holds. So, finito. Argument's done.
It's over.
It's never been done before. The Packers didn't do it.
Take that for data.
Sorry.
What did he say?
Stop living in the past.
Say that again.
He was trying to say Packers won the first 2 Super Bowls after winning a world championship the year before.
Yeah.
And then he said, I don't understand the argument that the league wasn't as good. It wasn't. But let's just set that aside. The simple fact of the matter is the Green Bay Packers, nor any other team, has gone to have the opportunity to win 3 straight Super Bowls. The Chiefs could be the first.
I get what he's saying, but still, how did they even determine the 1960? What would that be?
But here's the thing. We're also just talking about a random marketing name change.
Right.
But, that's the part that matters. Like,
they
we
did
chose it now.
They did
Is it the Super Bowl era? It never happened in the Super Bowl era because the Super Bowl era would have started the year they won their first Super Bowl. Then they won another one, and then no more in a row after that.
So the playoffs in 1965, by the way, guys, was Baltimore versus Green Bay in the Western bracket, and then they played for the championship. So they had one game. I think
it was like back in the day with baseball. You just kind of if you won the pennant, you played in the championship game. I'm pretty sure that's how it worked.
Yeah, Western Conference playoff. I've got the Packers beat the Colts. And then the NFL championship game, they played the Browns. I don't know what the Browns did to get there.
Yeah, Carter, actually, speaking of the Browns, he says, Jim, I don't know what he's trying to say there. Jim, some people have only had victories from before they were born. What are they supposed to do with it? Unfortunately, you got to pound sand. Like, you just got
You can't even claim it? You can't even be like, hey, man, we did this.
What are you claiming? You weren't alive.
I don't know. Your team. That's your. I guess, I don't know. Maybe the bigger question, if you join a team, you get to absorb their history a little bit, don't you?
Well, you understand playing for the history. Well, that's Jason Wilde on the other side.
Okay.
This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions, securing homes and businesses in the Madison area since 1987.
Do you know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day? At MadisonWeightLoss.com, we know the secret. Our doctor-developed, easy-to-follow weight loss program helps you lose weight fast, naturally, and safely with no drugs or injections. No prepackaged meals, bars, shakes, or exercising required. Our program helps reset your metabolism so you can lose weight quickly and keep the weight off for good with an easy-to-follow maintenance plan that includes ongoing personal support. And our program costs half as much and works up to twice as fast than most other programs. Go to MadisonWeightLoss.com to schedule your free consultation now.
Hi, it's Jesse Nelson. I was able to drop 40 pounds thanks to Madison Weight Loss. It's the only program I've ever experienced to actually achieve my weight loss goals. Check out MadisonWeightLoss.com to schedule a free consultation and see how the program can help you.
Many clients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month or two. That's up to a pound per day. Schedule your free consultation now at MadisonWeightLoss.com. That's MadisonWeightLoss.com. Results may vary.
Hello, I'm John Hayes, the owner of Goodman's Jewelers. It's been my pleasure to serve this community from this incredible store for over 4 decades. We stand upon high standards and classic traditions, pillars like honesty and integrity. Stop into Goodman's Jewelers, the longest-standing full-service jewelry store in the heart of Madison at 220 State Street. Goodman's Jewelers, the diamond store of Madison since 1933.
The best is at Goodman's.
It started with a prediction.
Go out there and play basketball and win.
And how many games?
6.
It became the culture.
Chance of Bucks in 6.
Being a Bucks fan means you live and breathe Bucks in 6. Brandon Jennings created the prophecy. Tune into Behind the Bucks, the story of Brandon Jennings on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and streaming wherever you get your podcasts.
That's for the culture.
Start your year off right with incredible new deals at Metro Kia of Madison. It's a new year, and we've got 211 brand new vehicles waiting for you. Drive home a 2025 Kia Sportage with 1.9% APR financing for 60 months, $17.48 per thousand borrowed. And don't forget, qualified buyers get 2 years, no charge maintenance, and 90 days deferred payments on new vehicles. But hurry, these new offers end February 3rd. Reserve your ride at MetroKiaMadison.com and stop in to Metro Kia today.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
The Eagles' run game is based on the offensive line. Saquon Barkley does a great job with making second and third level defenders miss, but he's 15, 20 yards downfield. He doesn't get touched for 20 yards. I have a hard time saying that guy is the most important player on the team when nobody touches him for 2 first downs.
Unsportsmanlike, weekdays from 5 to 9 on 100.5 ESPN.
Welcome to the Chevy Lightning Round. Guess the clues to win. First team, you're up.
Powerful, commanding, unstoppable.
Silverado.
Adventurous, fun, techie.
Trailblazer.
Stylish, nimble.
Trax.
Innovative, electric.
Blazer EV.
Lightning Round champions. You've guessed all the right Chevy clues.
Wherever the year takes you, explore it together in the Chevy of your choice. See your Badgerland Chevy dealer today.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions.
Jason, quick
You
question.
are one of one.
3-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year.
Help me understand a little bit more clearly what you're asking.
Did you ever hear it called Don't Go Jason Waterfalls?
Is this Matt Hamilton?
So I kind of just thought of this question on the spot. So it needs to be workshopped a little. I'm not going to lie.
That's the same as Matt.
Jason Wilde is on Jim, Matt, and Molly.
What's up with that? What's up with that?
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light. Prime for the Mountains of Blue, you know what to do.
And that's Crush, a Coors Light.
We are live at North South Seafood and Smokehouse in DeForest because Badger Volleyball, Kelly Sheffield, John Audius, Sarah Franklin, and others will be here doing a Q&A starting at 6 o'clock. But before we get to Jason Williams, I want to tell you about Carbon World Health. Look, you're hearing people talk about GLP-1s. You're hearing people talk about semaglutide. You know I've been on it for a while. You know I've dropped the body fat. But here's the better part of it. It's not just about dropping body fat. Anyone can give you nutritional advice. Anyone can say, oh, just take GLP-1s and go with it. No, Dr. Nestor Rodriguez, one, as a doctor, is going to make sure it's safe for you. Two, is going to come up with a workout regimen that works for you, and then is going to monitor the results. So don't go by some fly-by-the-night, oh, we got GLP-1s now place. No, go see the originals in Madison, the only place to go for it, and that's Carbon World Health and Dr. Nestor Rodriguez. Jason Wilde, how you doing? It's been a while. Good to talk with you.
No, it's not good to talk with me, actually. I have a very, very jealous 13-year-old who, again, much more important to go to your own volleyball practice. She's one of her team captains. She never leaves the floor. It is too important, her father told her, that you be at practice, then you go down to Madison for this remote at North and South with her. She likes to think her and Sarah Franklin are buddies because they talked multiple times at camp this summer. I'm not going to expect Sarah Franklin, who, by the way, stood and signed autographs for every single kid while she was still in a walking boot. And then when it was finally time for her to leave that night, she saw some kids who were too shy or nervous to come up to her, so she could have made her getaway with her walking boot. And instead, she sought them out and posed for a picture with them and signed a jersey for them. Sydney was disappointed because when I told her where you guys were going to be, she's like, well, can we go? Can I leave school early? I said, no, you're going to gymnastics practice, and then you're going to volleyball practice. But I will tell John Audius how jealous she is of him.
Oh, man, that's too bad you guys aren't going to be able to make it. Then do not let her know that we may have Charlie and Mimi here as well, Charlie Furbringer and Mimi Collier. So don't tell her that.
John. Really
I'm
not trying to rub it in.
Yeah, no, I just told her it was you. And she was like, who? And then we were good.
Yes, sounds about right.
Jason, we've had some lively discussions, but I want to get to this is obviously not the only reason the Packers aren't in the Super Bowl, but I think a lot of times you just look at it, it's going to come down to coach or quarterback. So we asked our audience, is it Jordan Love or is it Matt LaFleur? Which one of those two is the biggest reason of those two why they're not in the Super Bowl? And 61% of fans said Jordan Love, which then also led to a conversation about how, again, entitled Packer fans are, because if Jordan Love turns into Jared Goff and that's what you have, most NFL teams would be happy with that. And I think Goody might have to start building a team that you need to provide Jordan Love with more playmakers and more weapons because he's closer to Jared Goff than he is Patrick Mahomes. And that got people – some people are like, well, then just get rid of him. If he's not going to be Aaron Rodgers, then we don't want him. So what are your takes on the idea that Jordan Love is more to blame than LaFleur for not making the Super Bowl? But then also, like, Packer fans' unwillingness to accept the fact that they might have Jared Goff, and most teams would be happy with a quarterback who's won multiple divisions and gone to multiple championship games and went to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack there, Jimmy. It's so much easier to be a Bears fan and just have your team stink all the time, or be a Vikings fan like someone else on the panel and just know that they're going to disappoint you eventually, whether it's in
Jason,
week 5
we said
or
this.
Week
Both John and I
19.
said that if you just told us today that you just gave us Jared Goff for Caleb Williams and J.J. McCarthy, I would trade out the high ceiling for that immediately, to your point.
Yeah, look, there's like I said, there's a bunch to unpack here, right? And part of it is you know what you know, and what Packers fans know is great quarterbacking. Now, I started following this. I don't use my Twitter much anymore, as you well know, but I started following this account because I ended up on the page that says For You, where they've got like the curated things from their program.
Dangerous page.
And it is. No, I'm not usually on that. And I came across, it's called like Vintage Aaron Rodgers or something. And it's just highlights of Rodgers making ridiculous throws, including my personal favorite, which didn't even count, which was the throw he made against the Bears in Chicago 15-ish. I know Corey Linsley got called for holding, and it was an unbelievable strike for a touchdown to Devontae Adams, in which Rodgers gets bent in half by a pass rusher as he's letting go of the ball, and the holding call wipes it out. But for my money, it remains his best throw from having seen it in person and then in highlights. But what I realized as I watched it is that he was really, really good. And we forget that kind of stuff and how special he was. I remember having this effect happen, too, when I went to Donald Driver's retirement event that he had the Packers hold in the atrium and watching his highlights. And I thought, you know what? I had forgotten how unbelievable this guy was at one point in his career. I still don't think he's a Pro Football Hall of Famer, but he was a great player for the Packers. And so I think we are all, myself included, after 29 seasons now covering this team, I think we are all spoiled by the level of greatness that seemed typical. It didn't seem special because we got so used to it, right? And so I think that's part of this equation. Now, in terms of the correct answer, the mail must finally be here. In terms of the correct answer, I think it's LaFleur. And here's why. I think in LaFleur's case, like the challenge for him and Tom Clements and everyone else who had been involved with getting this team, up to speed offensively last year and Jordan Love up to speed last year. And this is something I want to talk about with Matt during the offseason. I'm hoping that I'm not going to go to the scouting combine, but I'm hoping to have some sort of audience with him at some point because I am extremely curious how he plans on shifting gears in this offense to take two really good things, which is Jordan Love's talent, which he's not an elite quarterback, but he is talented, and we can't take that away from him, and melding it with the Josh Jacobs running game. Because when the running game of the Aaron Jones outside zone style was humming and the play action was part of it, you saw what Jordan Love did. And then you saw him this season, and even, I said this to Tausch this morning, even when they scored 30 points in a game, 5 straight games, it didn't feel like it. Like, you didn't go, God, are they really humming, right? It was a weird phenomenon that they were putting up that many points, and yet it didn't feel like they were really, truly clicking. And so I think that it's on LaFleur and his staff during this offseason to really burrow down to figure out, okay, how can we make this offense with a great running back who uses a different style of blocking scheme called duo to get to where he wants to go? How can we marry that up with a passing game and a play-action game that will allow Jordan Love to get back to what he did during those 8 games and the playoff game against Dallas last year? Because I will put that stretch up against Rodgers' 16 stretch on Run the Table, and they are very, very similar. I didn't feel like we saw Jordan Love do that very often, even when he had good numbers for a stretch this season.
So it sounds to me, Jason, I was going to ask you if you think Love at the age of, I think, 27, right? Can he get to the next tier of quarterbacks in the NFL, or will he be just maybe in the tier below, which Jim and I were saying, hey, we'll take that in a heartbeat. It sounds to me like you're saying he can get there, but it depends on the coaching staff and the team putting the right weapons around him. Am I correct in that?
No,
assumption?
I mean, you're correct in that, but he's got to do the work too, right? I mean, he's got to elevate his game as well. And I think another aspect of this that we don't have to have the conversation here because I certainly don't want to delay the excitement of Coach Sheffield and everybody that's going to be there. And you too, John. Sorry. But
thanks.
I think. Sorry, I'm just relaying Sydney's feelings, not really mine. But I do think the other part of this, and you've seen it with Jaden Daniels, obviously, certainly Lamar Jackson, certainly Josh Allen, is the running aspect of it, right? Jim, I would defer to you because I did not watch all of Caleb Williams' games, but I sure as heck saw him in Chicago, and what that element did. The Packers, that was what allowed them to have a chance to win that game, right? In the first meeting,
yes,
is that he was so effective running the football.
To your point, Thomas Brown, after he took over for Shane Waldron, said, hey, you are athletic. Stop trying to sit in the pocket. I know you want to be a pocket QB, but use your legs if it's available to you. And that helped Caleb have a better second half of the season after a midseason slump. So you're absolutely right.
And you can be both, right?
Yes,
look, we went back and looked at Rodgers' rushing numbers, and he was always in the 300 to 370 rushing yards in a season area. Jordan Love in his first year as the starter was at 247 or something like that. And this year it was at 83. Malik Willis ran for more yards in his 3 combined full games, if you count the second half against the Bears, the second half against Jacksonville, and the 2 games he started. He had more rushing yards in those 3 games than Jordan Love had in the other 14 plus the playoff game. So that I'm not, and believe me, I'm not saying, even though I really like Malik and his redemption story, in no way am I saying maybe they should consider a quarterback change. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that element changes the way you have to be defended. And whether you're Dante Culpepper ripping out Packers defensive hearts when it's 3rd and 11 back in the 2000s and taking off and running a guy over and getting the first down, or your Mitchell Trubisky in those rare times that he played well, doing the same thing, a little different style against the Packers defense. Even on teams that weren't elite, their quarterbacks changed the way those guys had to be defended offensively. And the Packers need that element because right now they don't have much of it. And maybe he would have done more of it without the injuries, but we never got to see it. If it was because of the injuries or for just other reasons, we never got to see that from Jordan Love this season.
Jason, we're going to ask this poll question in a minute, but I believe it was Rob Demoski wrote a story, and it was quoted that Goody's done an outstanding job. Outstanding seems like a bold statement to me because I think it all is going to depend on, are they paying Baker Mayfield-type quarterback $55.5 million a year, or is Jordan Love going to take another step? I would say that Goody has been above average as a GM, not outstanding. So we're asking the question, if you were grading him, would it be outstanding, above average, or middle of the road?
Of course, I'm going to say, well, can I find somewhere between outstanding and above average?
Right.
Because that's kind of where I see him, right? I mean, let's be honest. Yeah. First of all, his first-round picks, that 2021 draft class, which I'm not saying that you have to hit a home run like he did in subsequent classes with some players. I don't think you have to have 8 guys still on the roster from it, but by the time free agency is over, they're going to have 0, right? I mean, they're going to let Josh Myers walk. They're going to let look, when you look at what Eric Stokes did, even when he was healthy, I mean, he was not a good first-round pick. So that's part of it, right? Now, I do think there's a recency bias, and, he got Zach Tom, Rasheed Walker, Romeo Dobbs, Christian Watson, Quay Walker, who I thought when he hurt his ankle in the second half of the season was playing the best football he had played, thanks in part to Anthony Campanile, who's now up for the Jaguars defensive coordinator job. But I thought that class was really coming on, right? And then now you've got the injury to Watson. You don't know what that means. The 23 class, we know what Reed and Wicks did and how excited they were about them. And then, obviously, those guys both backslid to some degree this year. And then this class, you saw Edgerrin Cooper, you saw Javon Bullard, and you saw Evan Williams, and those 3 guys look like they are going to be long-term answers on your defense. But the league changes so quickly that we're giving them all these bouquets and flowers now, But if those guys don't continue to take steps, they're going to be just okay, good, decent guys. And so this is why I'm always reluctant to crown anyone, whether it's the quarterback or the general manager. He has put together a really good young roster that has not been good enough yet to get to where they want to go. Now, in Rob's piece, he talked about how he has a plan, and it's a 5-year plan, so they're 2 years in. Well, I'm eager to see what year 3 looks like. Year 3 is incredibly pivotal for the GM, for the coach, for the quarterback, for all those wide receivers. They know that, too. They may not talk about it, but they know it, and I'm eager to see what the 2025 season brings.
Well, Jason, we have some time before that, so thank you for joining us, and we're looking forward to talking to you next week.
All right, tell Sarah that her buddy Sydney says hi.
Absolutely. I'll make sure John does it.
I appreciate you guys. Take care. Be good.
Thanks, Jason. That's Jason Wilde. Look, if you're looking for custom or if you're looking for family-owned or local jewelers, Chalmers Jewelers is your choice. They have custom jewelry options. They are locally owned jewelry. They have great watches. You can treat yourself, or you can get a piece of custom jewelry made. You can get a piece of jewelry refurbished. All that's available at Chalmers Jewelers in Madison and in Middleton. Matt Hamilton coming up next on Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, ESPN Madison on YouTube, and Wisconsin On Demand. Rah! Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute brought to you by Starion Bank, with 3 Madison area locations in Middleton, Sun Prairie, and Verona. Starion Bank is here investing in your community. Start your experience at starionbank.com. Member FDIC. The Xavier Lucas Wisconsin drama raising concerns in the new era of NIL agreements. CBS Sports insider Shahan Jayaraja joining the Jump Around digital show. His big question on the matter:
how far does everyone want to take this? Because it could just be a warning shot. This could turn into a huge lawsuit where potentially at issue would be whether the idea of a player being able to leave a rev share agreement would be on the table. It would be a huge precedent to set for the future of college football.
The Jump Around streaming Thursdays at 12:30 on ESPN Madison's YouTube channel.
Pella can make your home as beautiful on the outside as it is comfortable on the inside. Celebrate the new year with 0% interest for up to 3 years at PellaWI.com.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill, because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Since J&K Security Solutions opened in 1987, our attention to detail and customer service have been our strongest assets. I'm President Jeffrey Beckman. We'll always do our best to find the most efficient and cost-effective solution to every job we tackle. Whether it's security for your home or business, installing video surveillance, or being able to control your garage doors from your phone, we can help you feel empowered with simple and user-friendly technology. Let's work together to secure your home or business. jksecurity.com.
Something amazing is happening here. Scientists are using AI to study how whales talk to each other. CDW experts can give researchers the power to process complex data with HP workstations, advanced by AMD Ryzen Threadripper Pro processors. With easier handling of AI workloads, your organization can bring powerful insights to the surface. Make amazing happen. HP, AMD, and CDW. Learn more at cdw.com/HPAMD.
She stole $6 million from the award-winning podcast.
I'm Lacey Mosley.
A new true crime series.
They call me Scam Goddess. I'm going on a journey across America to dive into small-town swindles.
How can you not trust this local farm girl?
And big city cons.
He was pimping the congregation.
People say that would never happen to me. Never say never.
Scam Goddess. New episodes Thursdays. Stream on Hulu.
Hey, it's Hunter Vaughn. ESPN Madison and Zimbrick Honda are celebrating the area's best high school sports stories with the Game Changers of the Month. Follow ESPN Madison on social media to see teams making an impact in their community. Nominate your local team today at ESPNMadisonGameChangers.com.
This is Monte Ball.
Monte steps to the right, dashes, reaches, touchdown!
You listen to 100.5 ESPN WTLX Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good afternoon, Madison. I'm Ryan Wollersheim, and this is your Sports Center update brought to you by Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison, home of smoke-free slots and the highest payout percentage in the area. Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison, more spins, more wins, more fun. And the Green Bay Packers hoping to start winning championships once again, as if you head over to ESPNWisconsin.com, you can read the most recent article from Packers reporter Rob Domofsky as he outlines the 3 to 5 year plan that GM Brian Gutekunst has had to win a Super Bowl since starting quarterback Jordan Love in 2023. Has Brian Gutekunst been outstanding, above average, middle of the road? Head over to ESPN Wisconsin and ESPN Madison on Twitter/X to vote in today's poll question, citing Unlimited poll question on Jim, Matt, and Molly. Coming up after Jim, Matt, and Molly tonight, we got Milwaukee Bucks basketball back in action. They take on the Trailblazers out in Portland at 9 p.m. It's an 8:30 pregame, but you won't hear that on 100.5 ESPN, as we will be having Prep Mania action Tuesday night hoops as Monona Grove versus Oregon tips off at 7 p.m. right here on 100.5 ESPN and on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel. Checking out our second hour of Jim, Matt, and Molly right now.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
Everybody's ego takes a shot on this show.
You gotta keep your chill with Jim, Matt, and Molly.
I am savage.
So you're not special.
Jim, if we want to play this game, we can play this game.
And I'm just like, oh my God, this guy's going to swing on Jim. He's a complicated fellow.
People like me.
I don't think so.
This is Jim, Matt, and Molly. Presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN.
We're learning a lot about each other.
I'm going to match your energy, and if you're going to bring false titles, I'll bring false titles.
They're not false. Your
They're
6 are real. My 4 are real.
But they're old as hell.
So you can tell Rutledge that. That is absolutely ridiculous.
Amen. Because I'm here for whatever. If you get food poisoning from a place, do you go back?
Like for more food?
No, if you go back ever. Like you get a bad burger from a place.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio in downtown Madison with Matt Hamilton alongside John Audius. Here's Jim Rutledge.
Jim, Matt, and Molly continues live from North and South Seafood and Smokehouse in Verona. John Audius, Jim Rutledge with you, and we are presented by Coors Light Prime Time. The Mountain Blue, you know what to do.
And that's Crush, a Coors Light, right, Matt Hamilton?
Well, we're going to get to Matt. I have to set everything else up. You're live at the Everlight Solar Studio. If you missed any of today's show earlier, you can watch back on YouTube, or you can listen back Wisconsin On Demand. Matt Hamilton, I believe you're undefeated so far, competing in nationals up in Duluth. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. 2-0 at this point.
I was like, I know you had one twice. I'm like, please tell me there wasn't a third in there that I missed. But hey, congrats! That's a hot start. It's a big tournament you're in. Tell everyone, because nobody understands curling, and when you're playing in something that has Olympic or national level to it, or you're playing in something that's more of like just a regular event. So tell us about the importance of the event you're at before we get into everything else.
So this is the U.S. Men's National Championship. Winner gets to represent the United States at Worlds. Since this is there's 2 years of the World Championships leading up to the Olympics are what qualify your country for the Olympics. Right now we're in a good space, but we probably need to get top 6 at the next World Championships, regardless of who goes, whether it's me or another team, to get the United States a guaranteed qualification for the Olympics in Italy. So it's a real important nationals, because if I want to go to the Olympics and I don't win here, and someone who goes and poops down their leg at the World Championships could put the United States in quite a pickle trying to get into the next Olympics in 2026. So fate is in our hands. We just need to execute and come out with a victory here.
And I guess that's worth it for missing out on the meat candy here at North and South?
Barely. Not by a lot, but just barely.
Matt, we got John Audius with us, and we were asking some questions, and you missed the show yesterday, so I wanted to get your take on some of these. We'll gloss over how horrible your Don't Quote Me was. because it's don't quote me.
By the way, my don't quote me, the exact opposite thing happens every time I've done that segment, by the way.
That's basically what happened to Matt this time around. Basically, Matt, to sum it up for you, Matt and Molly were haters extraordinaire.
Yeah.
They wanted the Commanders to win, and they wanted the Bills to win, and they went hard against the other teams, and obviously that didn't work out.
Yeah, did not work
out. Matt, we asked this question, and obviously there's nuance to why the Packers didn't make the playoffs, but look, it's quarterback and it's coach. That's what matters. That's who gets there. That's how you win Super Bowls. So what's the bigger reason that the Packers didn't make the Super Bowl this year? Jordan Love and Matt LaFleur. 61% of our fans said Jordan Love. Yesterday, I was deciding a limited poll question.
I also voted in that poll, and I agree. It's Jordan Love.
Yes, and so, Matt, you are the master of this, and we had a conversation about the entitlement from Packer fans. But
I am the master.
I just said to, Jordan Love, if I was betting money on it, I would bet on Jordan Love not getting any worse, but maybe betting marginally, which kind of turns him into Jared Goff, who has won, I believe, 4 division titles, has gone to 3 NFC championship games, won one of them, and gone to a Super Bowl, and is a Pro Bowl caliber quarterback who has thrown for 4,000 yards passing more often than he hasn't in his career. Most NFL teams would happily take that. Now, the contract part for Jordan Love is the caveat here, because paying, obviously, the Lions are paying Jared Goff $50 million, but paying Jordan Love that kind of money to be Jared Goff is a different conversation. But if Jordan Love turns out to be a Jared Goff level QB, would you be disappointed in that?
Unfortunately, yes. We paid him to be the guy. And is Jared Goff, especially this year, the way they're playing, he's playing really good. And that is kind of the offense I think Matt LaFleur wishes he had, a solid run game where you can take advantage with opportunities with passing. Now, I will say Jared Goff wasn't always this accurate of a passer. He had a couple games around 80% passing completion this year, and Jordan Love did not. I will say Jordan Love did take a baby step forward in my eyes this season by kind of getting rid of the clunkers, or at least as many, but he also didn't have those highs. So the next step for Jordan Love is going to be having a higher completion percentage, because I do think this offense is kind of a run-first offense. There are some kinks that need to be worked out. I know Josh Jacobs had said he wants to run out of the shotgun, and play action is a lot harder to fool a defense out of the shotgun. And that's part of Matt LaFleur's whole scheme, is making defensive players take that extra half second to make sure the running back doesn't have the ball, and in hopes that the receiver can get about a half step on their defender. So there is some kinks that need to be worked out. They need to figure out how to utilize Josh Jacobs the best, and how to make his being a threat help Jordan Love get more open passes. Because I will say last year, especially near the end, it looked like Jordan Love had some wide open receivers, and I didn't feel like receivers were getting quite the same separation this season. And I'm wondering if that scheme switch to running out of the shotgun had something to do with it.
I've just pulled up his stats, guys. Love from 24 to 23, and obviously he played in a couple less games, so keep this in mind. But does it come down to just giving him more opportunities to just produce more often? And the reason I say that, 579 passing attempts in 2023, 425 passing attempts in 2024. The rating, 96.1 last year, 23, a better rating last year at 96.7. He had a better QBR. So when you kind of average things out, technically he was better in some respects this season. He just had 200 less passing attempts, which is significant when you start to average that out throughout the course of a season.
100%. And I think that was a lot very scheme dependent. You think last year you had Aaron Jones injured quite a bit. Jordan Love had to be the guy. This year, Josh Jacobs plays all 17 games. And the way that Matt LaFleur, to me, seems like he wants to run this offense is going to be run first and use that run as a threat in the passing game. And unfortunately, they weren't really able to do that. Like whenever they got into an I formation or Jordan Love under center and Josh Jacobs behind him, the defense kind of knew they weren't handing it off. But when they were in shotgun, there was that opportunity for throw or pass. But the shotgun, it's so much harder to fool a defense into thinking that it's going to the running back because they're always facing forward. You can't hide the ball or do any of those hidden ball tricks. So I do think Matt LaFleur and Josh Jacobs and Jordan Love are going to have to get together and figure out what is going to be the step going forward. I did make this argument to Jim earlier, maybe a week or two ago, that is Jordan Love just not getting enough opportunities, which is why he can't cook. We say a lot of running backs, first half, they might not be really chunking up the yards like a Derrick Henry, but by the second half, that defense is so sick of trying to tackle Derrick Henry, and they're so exhausted from trying to take down a big back like that he starts breaking longer runs and finding his rhythm. I'm wondering, and Jim shot this down immediately, and he's going to do it again, but I wonder if Jordan Love had more opportunities, maybe he finds a way to cook. But this year, when he had over 30 passes, Jim, it was at least one interception, correct?
Yeah, and again, I'm just saying that he could cook. I think it's more about the floor. The best quarterbacks still are in best scenario when they're able to have running back to set them up where they're not being forced to cook. That odds are that Jordan Love isn't Aaron Rodgers. And Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, there's only a few QBs who are successful continually throwing the ball more than 30 times a game. I don't think Jordan Love's going to be one of those guys. He hasn't ever been that guy. Even during his hot streak, he was not cranking out 300-yard passing games or 300-yard passing games or massive games like that. I just don't think that's who he is. I think he's a quarterback who can be really good, and he doesn't have to put up massive numbers or massive passive attempts to be really good.
Yeah, I think that, especially in this LaFleur offense, the ideal scheme is Jordan Love gets 25 to 35 passes. You're running 50% of the time. You're passing the other 50% of the time. But the big thing is getting those receivers open. And part of it might be route running, and the guy's just not truly having a number one that's going to take some pressure off the 2 and the 3 wide receivers. Or it might be something to do with not being able to truly run a play action that's going to catch the defense half a step behind. And that's where I remember with Aaron Jones, he was able to be that threat. And when he was healthy down the stretch, we had Jordan Love cooking for the most part, especially in that Dallas game and for 3 quarters against the San Francisco 49ers, where they ended up eventually losing that one. So I really think that
Jordan Love didn't cook against 49ers. He was as bad against 49ers as he was against the Giants, statistically.
It was...
it matches up identical.
I know the numbers match up, Jim, but eye test is definitely a different thing. He had some really great plays where I didn't see any wow plays against the Giants, but he did some good things against San Francisco. And a lot of it is chalked up to being first-time starter. Obviously,
he completed 61% of his passes for 190 yards, and 2 touchdowns and an interception.
I know. Like I said, stats definitely can tell a different picture of the way the game actually went down.
Right. It could have overinflated his stats versus Dallas. Yeah.
I mean, it does, but
it goes both ways,
there's no denying that. There's no denying that the Dallas game, Jordan Love was immaculate.
I think I just feel like the vibes tell me the stats overblew what he did. Right. That goes both ways, right? If I just want to say,
it can.
Yeah. So.
I'm just saying, I thought Jordan Love looked better against the Niners than he did against the Giants. Sure, that's totally subjective, but it looked like there was better plays being made out of Jordan Love, as well as some absolute clunkers, especially at the end where he tried to throw across his body on second down.
Yeah. We don't need to. As JB from the V, I'll just let him say it. Can someone please tell Matt that Jordan Love is what he is? He's been in the league for 5 years. He ain't getting a lot better. Let's move on.
He might get a little better.
That's JB.
I think that's a.
I think it's in the margins. I'm more with JB. I don't think you're going to see some massive jump. I think you're just going to see him get marginally better. A little higher completion percentage, a little less interceptions. I don't think he's going to jump into the Mahomes, Josh Allen.
What
Joe
brings
Burrow
you there?
era.
Is it just bottom line winning?
I'm talking about you still can go to a Super Bowl and win with Jordan Love. I'm saying that.
No, but what puts him in that category? Is it specifically stats, and what are those stats?
I think it's
35 touchdowns.
It's the control of the game. It's
okay.
I mean, we watch Joe Burrow, we watch Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson.
Okay.
Jordan Love is not close to them right now.
Sure.
And it's consistency. Right. And so I think the more likely scenario is that Jordan Love is a quarterback that you can win a Super Bowl with. Mm-hmm. And that's all you want. He doesn't have to be the next Hall of Famer. How about this? This is my general take on Jordan Love. He's a Packer Hall of Famer. He won't be an NFL Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that's true at this point.
But that's my general thought.
Right. So when we ask what's most important or between LaFleur and Jordan Love needs to play his best game to give Matt LaFleur a chance to outcall the other. They're both extremely important. Matt LaFleur's offense is what's going to make Jordan Love hum. And I think this year there might have been a little bit of a issue, especially with Jacobs claiming that he wants to run out of the shotgun. That changed from last year, and when Jordan Love had his best games last year, the play action was alive and well.
Again, a quarterback who needs help from his coach, and he needs. My whole point, Matt, is they need more playmakers for Jordan Love. Treat him like he's Jared Goff.
They need more playmakers for Jordan Love.
Yeah, treat him like he's Jared Goff. Go get a St. Brown. Go get a Jameson Williams. Go get another great running back. Add another tight end. Load it up and treat him like he's Jared Goff, and then go win a Super Bowl instead of trying to treat him like he's Patrick Mahomes and try to do it the other way.
Right, and I will say though, there's a lot of validity to the fact. You're right. He has been in the league 5 years, but I say this again: practice ain't games. The speed's different. The feel's different. Just how much pressure is on you in a game versus what you do in practice. I don't care that he's had this playbook for 3 years before he got to be a starter.
That's so important, though, Matt. Matt, look, most quarterbacks who fail have to change their offense every year.
It's incredibly important, and I totally agree with that. But you're not getting game reps. Nothing in practice can feel like a game. Nothing's going to put that pressure on you. I do think there is still potential for Jordan Love to be better. I don't think he is what he is quite yet. There's 2 seasons of football, both playoff runs under his belt. There is potential for Jordan Love to take a step forward. I don't agree with JB in the V or wherever.
Yeah. There's potential that younger QBs who have less time in the league than him, Jaden Daniels, maybe Caleb Williams, who started less games in college than Jordan Love, they could also make a jump in front of Jordan Love. Or Jaden Daniels might already be in front of Jordan Love.
I would say he is. And I thought C.J. Stroud was at the end of last year, and then C.J. Stroud was probably in the Jordan Love realm this year. I don't want to say he took a step back, but he wasn't as good as he was his rookie year. That sophomore slump is real.
I would say very similar to what happened to Jordan Love. They just kind of flatlined. Mm-hmm. They got better in the margins. They didn't make a big jump. Matt, before we let you go, what's your next match? Do you play tomorrow then?
Yeah, tomorrow at 10 a.m. and then 4 p.m., I believe.
And is there a way we can watch this or follow it?
Yes, it's on YouTube. You can follow USA Curling. That's the fun part about it. These live games are free to watch, but the playback is going to be, I think, a pay-per-view kind of thing. But it is USA Curling YouTube channel. You can find all the games. I believe they're all being streamed. So there should be some opportunity to watch Team Schuster kick some butt going forward.
Love it. Rod Demoski wrote a story. An anonymous GM quoted, or anonymous source said that Brian Gutekunst is doing an outstanding job as GM for the Packers. Would you describe his work outstanding, above average, and middle of the road?
I think I got to give him just slightly above average, but his first-round picks have been absolutely terrible. And I say this as a guy who loves Rashawn Gary and wants him to be the Pro Bowler that they say he is. I'm going to say – I'm not saying excellent for sure. And
your three most highest-paid players right now would all make a case that they're overpaid right now. And Jordan Love, Rashawn Gary, and Jair Alexander.
I do agree with that, but I do think there is potential, and I think he's got to take a little bit more help in the draft. I do like the way he's set up potentially here for the future going forward. A young team, a lot of room to grow. Obviously, guys to pay, so he's going to have to be a stern negotiator, but I think he's just slightly above average, so I guess I'd give him that, but he's closer to average than he is to excellent.
And, Matt, what linings are you missing up in Duluth? Or maybe you've had an opportunity to get some. I don't even know. You're not in Canada. You're just you're near Canada, but you're not there.
Yeah, that's true. I am pretty close to Canada, and I am missing the summer shandy. It was gorgeous today. I've got an amazing Airbnb overlooking the water, and it gives me them summertime vibes, and summer shandy also provides them summertime vibes from Leinekugels. So wherever you get delicious beer, check out the summer shandy, the juicy peach, the lakeside cherry, or Leinie's original for a fantastic beer. Remember, you got to be 21 years or older to enjoy Leinekugels beer.
All right, Matt, thank you so much. Good luck tomorrow and the rest of the tournament.
Hey, thanks, guys. Appreciate you having me on my own show.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining your own show, Matt. We feel blessed. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
Hey, this is Matt's Chicago Doppelganger. You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN Madison.
Matt Hamilton here for Leinekugels, the craft beer that showcases a commitment to tradition and quality, founded in 1867 in Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin. No matter where I'm at, on the ice, on my boat, or if I'm just watching the big game, I always have a Leinie's in my hand. Whether it's the refreshing summer shandy, the smooth honey vice, or my personal favorite, the juicy peach, there's a delicious flavor for every moment. Pick it up wherever you get delicious beer, but remember, you gotta be 21 years or older to enjoy.
Ordering pizza for game day can be a tough call to make. Do you get a pizza, or are you craving some wings? At Pizza Hut, there's only one right answer. Get both. Introducing Pizza Hut's original stuffed crust and wings bundle. Get a large one-topping stuffed crust pizza and 16 boneless wings with 2 sauces for only $19.99. An unbeatable value that can feed the whole crew. Perfect for game days, family nights, or any gathering. Order on the app or online at pizzahut.com today. Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
When it comes to security for your home and family, you want a winner, and we found one when we placed our trust with J&K Security Solutions. This is Greg Gard. Kim and Jeff hit the game-winning shot for us with the Control 4 home technology system. Home or away, from our smartphones, we can open the garage door, dim the lights, turn on the TV, as well as arm the security system. That's convenience as well as peace of mind. Let J&K Security Solutions do for your home or business like they've done for us. Call 255-5799 or online at jksecurity.com.
Do you want to have more fun watching the NFL playoffs? Try playing Sleeper Picks. Just download the Sleeper app today and pick more or less on at least 2 players' projected stats. You can win up to 100 times your cash. For a limited time, Sleeper has a special offer. New users have to just play $5 and they'll receive $55 in free entries. Just download the Sleeper app today and use code BRAD, B-R-A-D. Must be 18 years or older. Promo code, location, and other restrictions apply. Minimum deposit $25. See terms of use for details. Please play responsibly. Call 1-800-426-2537 for help.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text FLASH to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text SLASH to 321-321. That's slash to 321-321.
UW Credit Union presents the Prep Mania Student Athlete of the Week, supporting local student athletes as they grow on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. UW Credit Union is here for every U. Learn more at uwcu.org. Here's Dennis Semrau with the UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week.
Our ESPN Madison UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week, Tegan Simpson from Oregon High School. What's it like to be a Panther?
I love being a Panther. I love the culture here. I love the teachers here and the people. It's a great school.
You're a wrestler and softball player?
I am.
And then wrestling, how did that come into play?
So I actually learned about wrestling my sophomore year of high school through Panther Vision, which is like our school's news. There was a video, they were looking for people to join, and I thought it would be cool. I thought it would keep me in shape for softball season. So I went home and I told my parents, and we went out, we got my first pair of shoes, and I joined.
And you've been to state twice?
Yes, I have.
What's it like in the Kohl Center?
I couldn't even imagine it the first time I went. It's huge. You feel super official, and the lights, the people, the mats, they're super cool.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealership.
You got a reaction. You got a reaction, didn't you? You took a one orchid. You took a one orchid and turned it blue. Something better than nothing.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly. We are presented by Coors Light. Prime, if the mountains are blue, you know what to do.
And that's Crush, a Coors Light.
We are live at North and South Seafood and Smokehouse in Verona. You can see us on the YouTube stream. By us, I mean me right now. John Arias is wandering around. I think he's confirming. So we're going to have Kelly Sheffield. Sarah Franklin just arrived. And so we're going to be having them on next segment. So I think John's helping to make sure everyone is getting here as we see John cross across the camera there. And he'll be joining the show. But you're back at the Everlight Solar Studio. And we're going to kind of put aside the Carbos Talking text line and the Side Unlimited poll question. And we're going to get to some throwing stones. Let's do it.
Some takes are cooler than others.
You know this kid is as cool as the other side of the pillow.
Some opinions are just cooler than the rest.
That was cooler than being cool. Ice cold.
And if you keep it chill, then it's a cold take.
Chill out. I'm chill. I'm chill as a cucumber, man. I'm always the coldest.
This is Throwing Stones, presented by Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's chillest Kia dealership.
All right, Jeff Rutledge, you told me just before we came back from break that you had a stone to throw today during Throwing Stones. What you got for us?
I have a stone to throw here for throwing stones. I always have stones to throw for throwing stones. Come on now, prime time. Now I got John Arias, so I will courteously allow first. John, did you have a
I think you should go
throw?
first. I'd love to hear yours first.
All right, so the stone I have to throw is, we talked about it a little bit yesterday, but we didn't get deep into it because I got distracted by a radio host in Chicago trying to use the sins of someone's father to knock the younger coach. We'll get that one when he goes back Wisconsin on the man. I want to talk about the tush push. I hate it because football has evolved to this really analytical and beautiful game where these really well-designed plays and you're tricking people and you are, like, for an example, a more palatable and pleasing version of the tush push is run by, coincidentally, the Chiefs, but I think the Packers would like to run it, where you kind of run it where you're rolling the quarterback out with the running back in front of them, and they just kind of toss it forward. It's used often to pick up first down. I'm sure it's not essentially 97% effective like the tush push is for Philadelphia, but I want to watch football, John. Mm-hmm. I don't want to watch rugby.
Yeah.
And the tush push is aesthetically unappealing. It doesn't really feel – it's not cheating, but it just feels like, ugh. Okay, this is what's going to happen here. So I'm not a fan of it. They've moved back the field goal, like the extra point. They moved that back because it got too easy. I think we're going to have to address the tush push because it's just getting too easy, too just like, oh, we're just going to run this thing and go forward. And there's no, I would say, schematic value to it. There's no fun to it. I want to see something besides just people push someone forward. I'm fine with the QB sneak, but the push behind it I think needs to go.
Yeah, well, and as long as it's successful, it's going to stay around, right?
Right.
Unless they change the rule.
More teams are going to add it.
More teams are going to add it. Yeah, I think you've got something there. I think there's something there because when you said I'm here to watch football, not rugby, the play is a little jammed up and it's not, it does seem a little like not illegal, but not right, not fair.
It's kind of like the shift in baseball. And they got rid of that too. Mm-hmm. And I think, and they modified the shift. Like, okay, you can't go, like, whatever. I don't know exactly what it is. If the shortstop can't go past second base or whatever the rule is, they modified it and it improved baseball. Like, the shift was starting to deaden the game in baseball. It was getting too much. I understand it's under the rules, but, like, it's not under the spirit of the game.
Yeah,
and
the spirit, that's what I was going to try to say.
And that's what I was trying to think with
yeah.
The tush push is under the rules, but it's not quite under the spirit of the game. So I think there needs to be some sort of modification, whether it's only one person can push or whatever
Can you push in college? Am I wrong that you can, or I thought you could not push
They allowed
in college.
Reggie Bush to do it that one time, and
That one
since
time,
then.
That's why it was a big deal.
Exactly.
I don't think you can. So I just think it needs to be modified. We don't have to eliminate it. But, again, they moved the extra point further back because it was too fait accompli. And I think that this is another one that we have to address because I don't want to be a point where every time, like, why even have a fourth down? We're just going to be like, all right, I'll just snap it and run it. 99% of the time it's going to go through. Like, it's just going to end up being the way we thought about the extra point where there's no juice to it.
By the way, if we could go back in the Wayback Machine a second for the extra point, I never even – like, when that changed, were we all complaining about it? Like,
I didn't care.
I would rather just give 7 points for touchdowns, quite frankly. Like, forget the extra point. Why do I want it to come down to a kicker?
Go for 2 if you wanted to.
Yes.
Like, that's the way I would look at it. Prime, what are your thoughts on that?
I couldn't disagree more, to be honest. I think you're talking about the spirit of football. What is the spirit of football than big guys pushing each other into other big guys?
So you're talking about 1960s football. I'm talking about
that's still
present-day football.
No, still football is who's bigger, who's stronger. Those guys usually win. And that's why the Eagles are in the Super Bowl. By the way, I know the Eagles are really good with the tush push. Did you know they are actually the 4th best team converting 4th downs of the teams in the championship games?
Wow.
Guess who number 1 was?
Chiefs.
Not the Chiefs.
No?
The Chiefs were actually 3rd. They're actually 0.2% better than
Commanders.
the Eagles. Commanders were number 1. They converted 4th downs 87% of the
Now,
time.
I will say the one thing I have seen a trend that I enjoy a lot is the teams are just punting less. And like, outside, like the Eagles, well, especially the Commanders and the Bills, but even the
Lions.
Eagles and the Lions, but they all felt like teams, they're just going for it. I was trying to think of teams playing currently. The Chiefs still kind of fall in the
That
more
still bothers
traditional.
me, by the way.
What's that?
Like, I get, like, it's fun and you see less punts, and that's good.
Yeah.
It bothers me because sometimes I play out the game as I'm watching. I'm like, guys, sure you don't want points? Because you don't know the outcome of the rest of the game and how it progresses.
No,
Take
that's
your
a
points.
different part. The strategy of it, I just like the fact that they are doing more. And not like the Chiefs, and I don't know everyone's kicker. The Chiefs have Butker. He's got a bigger leg. The Elliott, I don't think is a big leg kicker, so I think part of it depends on that. The Bills had a big time kicker, so there was times where they kicked it. So for me, if it's more than 55, but then like, I give it 10 more yards and I'm probably punting. But in that little window of more than 55, I'm going to go for it, and depending on the rest of the other elements to it. But that adds a little strategy, adds a little chess to the game. You're right, there can be good and bad decisions about it, but I do like that more coaches are doing it because now it's a part of the game to actually go for it. And I love the philosophy of it. It's actually the philosophy that works for the Chiefs and the Patriots. I heard Julian Edelman say this on Sportsmanlike this morning. He was on with Evan Cohen, Michelle Smallman, and Chris Canty, and he was talking about how the Patriots during their prime is that they would play the whole game basically never beating themselves, waiting for you to put yourself in a tough situation, and they were so comfortable in the uncomfortable. That's why they closed out all these games. That's what's happening with the Chiefs. Now, your Vikings team is the only team in a long time that's kind of won all these tight, like it's now 12 games. But the difference was the Chiefs have Mahomes and Kelsey, and this is their 3rd run at a title. They're comfortable in the uncomfortable, so they're okay closing out these games. Dan Campbell talked about going for it on 4th down because he doesn't want 4th down to feel like a big deal when they do it late in the game like they did against the Packers.
Yeah.
And the Packers needed to stop and they couldn't get it. Like, those are the times where, like, common story. Taylor's all the time with Packers defense. So, like, that's what I think I like about the coaches who go for it on 4th down is they are making their players comfortable in the uncomfortable. But, Ryan, the question I was actually asking before we went break here was about the kicking, the extra point. Were you up in arms over that?
About moving back the extra point?
Or like why they moved. I can't even remember why they moved it back in the first place.
They didn't never. It just happened.
They
They're just
moved
like,
it
hey,
back
I think we're going to do this.
Yeah, they just wanted to not be as automatic of a conversion.
But there's the thing. This is what.
But who was upset about it? I guess
exactly. That's my point. No one was upset about it. Nobody was talking about it. No one talked about it. It went from like 99.5 to like what now? 97, 96, 90. You dropped like a couple percentage points.
I do
think
I'm
supposed to be like happy.
It has increased the amount of times that teams might go for it more on. Go for 2-point conversions, though, which does make it more exciting. I mean, we see that all the time.
Yeah, I can see that from that perspective.
So
that makes sense.
That's fair. All right. Go be a winner. Go to Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. That's where winners go. Millions of dollars are won every single weekend at Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. He's John Adias. I am Jim Rutledge. We're at North and South Seafood Smokehouse in Verona because at 6 o'clock, Coach Sheffield along with Sarah Franklin, and who else is here?
We've got setter Charlie Furbringer and the newest Badger, Mimi Collier.
So they are joining John Adias. They're going to do a Q&A session here at North and South Seafood and Smokehouse. It's open and free to the public if you want to come by and ask some questions, get some pictures, maybe nicely ask for an autograph. That'll be here. But Coach Sheffield and Sarah Franklin will be joining the show coming up here next. You can see that on the YouTube. You can obviously listen back if you missed it. Wisconsin On Demand, Apple, Spotify, any of those great places. But this is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, ESPN Madison on YouTube, and Wisconsin On Demand.
American Family Insurance is a lot like Captain America. He protects the world.
It's just doing my job.
And we help protect your dreams with amazing auto and home coverage. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com. And see Marvel Studios' Captain America: Brave New World.
Suit up. We need to move.
In theaters February 14th. This film is not yet rated.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End of friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Ben Brust here to tell you about the Princeton Club. I joined the Princeton Club because I was looking for a place I could invest in my health, and the environment and the community I have felt has made it so easy for me to incorporate it into my everyday life. It doesn't matter where you're at in your fitness journey because they have something to offer everyone. It also goes beyond fitness. From the moment you walk in the club to the moment you walk out, there is a togetherness felt throughout the members and staff that keeps you going for your better tomorrow. Don't wait any longer and get started on your fitness journey today at PrincetonClub.net. That's PrincetonClub.net.
Hi, this is Lee, inviting you to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. We got a great happy hour every day of the week from 4 o'clock to 7, and our patio during the summer is open too. If you're getting married, special occasion, a birthday, anniversary, or even a business meeting, we've got all the accommodations right here at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. You work hard and sometimes you're not sure what you want to do, where you want to spend your money. I want to encourage you to come into Ruth's Chris Steakhouse and say hello. It'd be a pleasure to meet you.
Outside In. That's what we call our Outdoor Living Unlimited showroom at 2018 South Stoughton Road. All the cool stuff you want outside in your yard displayed inside. Patios, decks, pavers, and an automated pergola, fire pit, outdoor kitchen, a putting green, and in-ground pool. Even a converting 3-season room that's either outside or inside. We are Outdoor Living Unlimited. Your outdoor living potential awaits you at our Outside In showroom, 2018 South Stoughton Road. OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
Do you know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day? At MadisonWeightLoss.com, we know the secret. Our doctor-developed, easy-to-follow weight loss program helps you lose weight fast, naturally, and safely with no drugs or injections, no prepackaged meals, bars, shakes, or exercising required. Our program helps reset your metabolism so you can lose weight quickly and keep the weight off for good with an easy-to-follow maintenance plan that includes ongoing personal support. And our program costs half as much and works up to twice as fast than most other programs. Go to MadisonWeightLoss.com to schedule your free consultation now.
Hi, it's Jesse Nelson. I was able to drop 40 pounds thanks to Madison Weight Loss. It's the only program I've ever experienced to actually achieve my weight loss goals. Check out MadisonWeightLoss.com to schedule a free consultation and see how the program can help you.
Many clients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month or two. That's up to a pound per day. Schedule your free consultation now at MadisonWeightLoss.com. That's MadisonWeightLoss.com. Results may vary.
All you have is one chance after an accident, one decision on who to call, one shot to get the help you need. Don't waste it on the one offer you get from your insurance company. Make the one call to Gruber Law Offices. It's the only one you'll need to make. Call us today. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
LabCorp Clinical Trials is changing to a new name, Fortrea. While the name may be different, Fortrea combines decades of great experience and professionalism with new opportunities for clinical trial participation. It's more than a mission and more than a new name. Fortrea is dedicated to moving healthcare forward. To learn more about the future of healthcare and upcoming clinical trials, visit us at FortreaClinicalTrials.com. That's FORTREA clinicaltrials.com.
If you're looking for a special piece of jewelry for any occasion, Condon Jewelers is always there for you. Condon Jewelers has the best selection of jewelry you'll ever find and guaranteed to have the lowest prices in the Madison area. Free shipping is always available. Visit CondonJeweler.com or call 241-3406 and ask for Jim, the owner, who's at the store every day. Shop locally. Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions.
Come on. Bring them out, bring them out. Hey. Bring them out, bring them out. Bring them out, bring them out. Hey. Bring them out, bring them out.
This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light. John Ottie's with you. I don't even know where Jim Rutledge is. He's somewhere here, but we are at North and South in Verona, Wisconsin, as we are getting set for tonight's Wisconsin volleyball celebration, joined by Wisconsin head coach Kelly Sheffield, former Badger of Madison Sarah Franklin, current Wisconsin Badger Charlie Furbringer, and one of the newest Badgers, Mimi Collier. They will all be here from 6 to 7. We're going to have a short Q&A, and we're going to meet and greet with everybody here who comes out. So head on out if there's still time. North and South in Verona, but we are now live on the radio, so this is the radio portion. Thanks, everybody, for coming out here. How's everybody doing today?
Fantastic.
Doing
Excited
good?
to be here.
Great.
Yeah?
Great.
It's a crazy offseason, Kelly, isn't it?
It's been crazy so far. Yeah, I mean, the transfer portal certainly adds something a little bit different, and we just started practice for the first time today.
Yeah.
So we rushed in here. We had about an hour and a half in the gym, and they started lifting last week, and so just trying to put this new version together, and then also watching some great pro teams and players and things like that past few weeks. It's a lot going on.
Yeah, and then for you, Sarah, as well, a lot going on as well for you. You go from one season right into another season. What's that been like?
It's been crazy. I mean, I feel like I'm back in my, first year COVID back-to-back seasons, but it's been awesome. I think the girls have been, amazing. I think learning from a lot of them and understanding kind of what the pro side of things looks like has been very fun, because it is a lot faster paced game, a lot more higher level play, and a lot longer rallies. So that's definitely been an adjustment.
Yeah, and then Charlie, I mean, you guys are getting right back to practice again. How has the offseason treated you so far?
Good. I mean, we just started last week, had our first couple lifts. The energy in the gym has been really good. Still working on the energy in our practice gym, but it'll get there.
Yeah, okay. And then Mimi,
Hi.
you when did you get to town?
On maybe Wednesday?
Wednesday?
Tuesday?
All right. Yeah. So what are your thoughts so far on being here since
Madison's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I really liked it when we came the last two times when I was the opponent here. And that was a huge reason why I decided that I wanted to come here. But, yeah, Madison's such a cute little city, and I like exploring all the new little things it has to offer.
Yeah, very cool. All right, so, Kelly, so what's the next steps for you and the team? Is you add Mimi, we've got Charlie, Sarah is doing her pro thing. What's next on your plate to accomplish?
Well, we got to give everybody name tags so we know who each other are. There's so many new people. We were talking about this at our banquet. Carter Booth is the only person on our team that has been through our spring. This is Charlie's first spring. Mm-hmm. This is everybody else on our roster's first spring here. And so, Charlie was kind of talking about today's practice is a little quiet. It's as they're all trying to get a feel for each other and things, and and I'm sure that'll get a little bit better as we move forward. But we're going to get to know each other's stage right now, certainly on the court.
That's interesting, yeah, because who's going to be, I don't know, the loud one is the right way to say it, but who's going to be that vocal leader? How does that?
Well, it's going to take, what do we figure, 9 people, voices on top of each other to equal one Frank. Is that what we just always?
I'm loud. That's all I can say. I'm loud.
You talked about the speed of the game, Sarah. For you, what's kind of been some of the big things you've noticed from coming from college and going right into Love and all the talent that the league has?
The serving, for sure.
The serving
and the difference of the ball has been definitely an adjustment. I mean, I'm a pretty good passer, but changing that and having to kind of a little bit relearn how to pass and be able to track this ball because it does come off differently for your platform. And these serves are just gnarly. I mean, they are able to put it in the same spot and get you every single time. So being able to make those adjustments in game right away, I think is something that I'm still learning. But it's been a lot of fun.
The ball, how different is the ball? And how much, by the way, for everybody here, how much does that matter when you go and you play and you have a different style of volleyball somewhere as compared to somewhere else?
Matters a lot.
It does?
Yeah, it makes a pretty big difference, especially in passing, but for setters too. I feel like I can feel like a huge difference with different balls.
Yeah. What's the biggest difference in the volleyballs? I'm just curious because I did notice that at the game. I saw them like these are different.
Yeah, it floats a lot easier. You can kind of get the ball to dance a little bit. So when you're receiving it, you kind of have to stay with it longer and track it longer. And then it comes off your platform. Like I have to almost give the ball a little bit more because it absorbs more instead of just kind of sticking my platform out and it'll bounce, right to target. I kind of got to give it a little more lift. So it just has a different feel from the outside, and it's almost like softer.
Okay.
We play with a smooth ball. That everybody in the country in the U.S. except for the men's plays with a smooth ball. Internationally, they play with more of a dimpled ball. So it's it's rough a little bit. So it moves through the air current a lot different.
And then Mimi, for you getting here. What's it like to be somewhere for like you were at Oregon and then to come in and you have a brand new teammates? What is that process like, and how has the team been welcoming you?
Yeah, the team's been awesome. I think something that's nice is, again, like Kelly said, like it is everyone's first spring here. So we have the incoming freshmen and we have the other transfers that are new. So everyone's learning everything right now. But yeah, the girls have been great. Again, I'm just excited to get into the gym with them more.
Yeah. When you look at your skill set, what do you bring to the court here for this upcoming season? What are your biggest attributes?
Yeah, I like to think that I'm a pretty steady presence on the court. You kind of always know what you are going to get from me, and I want to be, again, just that consistency over this team, especially as I'm going to be one of the older ones, which is, again, crazy to think about.
Yeah.
But yeah, calming presence is just something that I've always striven to do.
And then for you, Charlie, you get to – last year you were Sarah. Now you've got Mimi. You've got all the other weapons you've had last season and now upcoming this season. That's got to be –
Can I jump in here first on
okay.
that? You're hopefully going to bring more than just a calming presence to us, right? All right. So what else?
That's not what you say on a radio show.
Pretend we're not on the radio. What would you say?
What kind of arm do you have? What kind of game do you have?
Lethal.
A pretty good one. Yeah. I'm a big attacker. I like to attack from the back row. I think it's pretty good. My blocking got really good this last season.
Very good.
I'm a pretty good server. We're going to dial in the passing and the defense. Yeah. Get to work on this offseason.
Yep. Does that work better, Kelly?
There you go.
And I'm a consistent presence on the court.
Slide that in there.
But, for you, Charlie Furbringer, by the way, joined by Kelly Sheffield, Charlie Furbringer, Mimi Collier, and then Sarah Franklin, too, here at North and South of Verona. Stop on out. We're going to be here from 6 to 7, meeting and greeting fans. For you to come into college volleyball and then have, Sarah to set to, and now Mimi and everybody else, what is this like for you? What are you thinking when you see all the talent around?
Pretty stoked. Makes my job a lot easier. Kind of what I expected committing to Wisconsin, but I don't know. Super excited. 2 awesome hitters, and it's really awesome to work with both of them.
Okay. All right, cool. We'll let you guys maybe get a bite of food here, and then at 6 o'clock, like I said, stop on out, North and South in Verona, out here until from 6 to 7 with Wisconsin Volleyball. Kind of an end-of-year celebration. We'll have a short Q&A, and then if you come on out here, you can come take a picture or something with everybody out here. Thank you, guys, for coming on.
Thanks for having us. This is great.
All right, we'll be back. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
Hey, this is Matt's Chicago Doppelganger. You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN Madison.
Since J&K Security Solutions opened in 1987, our attention to detail and customer service have been our strongest assets. I'm President Jeffrey Beckman. We'll always do our best to find the most efficient and cost-effective solution to every job we tackle. Whether it's security for your home or business, installing video surveillance, or being able to control your garage doors from your phone, we can help you feel empowered with simple and user-friendly technology. Let's work together to secure your home or business. jksecurity.com.
Football season. Best time of the year and my favorite time of the year. This is ESPN Wisconsin's Brad Nortman. On game days, my favorite teammate is a cold carbless in my hand. Premium cocktails in a can made right here in the great state of Wisconsin. Maybe it's when I'm at the tailgate ahead of kickoff or getting ready at home for the game. Carbless is there. 0 sugar, 0 carbs, and gluten-free. Carbless features classic cocktails like margarita, Paloma, and even Moscow Mule, and vodka cocktail flavors like cranberry, lemon, and peach. Find it on your next grocery trip. Carbless. Less is more.
From color-changing alexandrite to shimmering zircon and everything in between at Chalmers Jewelers, you'll find high-quality, affordable, one-of-a-kind pieces. We source straight from the gem cutters, and we manufacture in-house from start to finish. As the manufacturer, we believe in truth in pricing. Never pay more for quality and stunning, beautiful jewelry. She's one of a kind, and so should her jewelry be. While others may send your jewelry dreams to someone else to make, with us, your dreams become reality with the help of our custom jewelers, with you involved the whole way. With a staff that has over 200 years of combined experience, why buy from a place that marks up jewelry made by the thousands? When you can buy direct from Chalmers for that one-of-a-kind piece that is better quality, often for less.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison.
Come see what the buzz is all about at Madison Axe, Madison's state-of-the-art entertainment spot. Enjoy 8 lanes of axe throwing, craft beer, interactive games, plus digital target projection and scoring. For even more fun, check out their indoor backyard with 2,000 square feet of shuffleboard, cornhole, yard games, bar table games, and more. Perfect for date night, groups, corporate meetings, or private events. Madison Axe is your destination for all things fun. Throw it, nail it, celebrate. Go to MadisonAxe.com or head to their location on Stoughton Road today.
The pulse of the Milwaukee Bucks, straight from a Bucks legend.
Can't get it off. Marcus Johnson will, though. Can't leave him alone for a 12.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson on Bucks Plus. Marcus and his son Chris offer a weekly beat on Bucks basketball. Get your questions answered and hear from the biggest names in basketball. Find Here District with Marcus Johnson at bucks.com/plus on the Bucks app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Staying on Wisconsin sports never stops with the Jump Around podcast.
Adding some interesting players through the transfer portal, mixing in, obviously, Jacksonville State. That's kind of a bump up, but I don't hate that way to recruit. I think there is a Moneyball aspect of if you have the right scouts and you can identify the right talent, this could be the new walk-on for Badger football and finding those players that can take that next step.
The Jump Around podcast with Jim Rutledge, streaming live every Thursday at 12:30 on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
Brian here from Canopy Wealth Management. At Canopy, we create strategies that are tailored to your needs and goals. We've invested heavily in client-friendly software so your assets and plan progress are available to view in one place at any time. Whether you prefer only the high-level information or enjoy the intricate details of the planning process, we've got you covered. Canopy Wealth Management. Care, competence, clarity. It's not just a tagline, it's a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started today. That's canopy-wealth.com.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Metro Kia Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealership.
I'm back. Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light, live from north to south. Seafood Smokehouse in Verona. If you're in the area, you still got time to swing on by. Coach Kelly Sheffield is here, along with Sarah Franklin. John Audius will be running a Q&A with those folks, along with a couple other Badger volleyball players. And it's open to the public and free. Come by and get a picture and ask nicely for an autograph. And they might do that for you as well. And I'm Jim Rutledge, John Audius. Primetime Lorsheim back at the Everlight Solar Studios. Jim, Matt, and Molly. You can see us on the ESPN Madison YouTube page. Last segment, you would have seen, honestly, you almost could have fielded the volleyball team with how many people
we could have played
on there. Yeah, so you can watch that back on YouTube as well. Before we get to wrap up the show here, I want to tell everyone about Canopy Wealth Management. Go to canopy-wealth.com and see how them being a fiduciary can help make sure you can reach your financial goals, because they're only going to do what's in their client's best interest as a fiduciary. So check out Canopy Wealth Management. Go to canopy-wealth.com to see how they can help you today. John, obviously a lot of excitement coming up with the volleyball team here. Let's look ahead for the season just real quick. Obviously, it's further out, and there's plenty of time. The season just wrapped up. But I did see, I believe it was someone from ESPN was talking about some of the transfers coming in for Badger volleyball. Like, there's a lot of reason for excitement and optimism. And obviously, it was a heck of a season. The volleyball team just finished up. But to get back to that championship game, I think there's reason to expect that.
Yeah, I mean, they lost 6 seniors, a couple transfers, but you lost 2-time Big Ten Player of the Year Sarah Franklin, which was, a really a big hole that you have to fill. And, man, Kelly Sheffield, the offseason doesn't stop.
No.
Doesn't stop, and he filled those holes. And Mimi Collier is one of those players. She's here tonight that is expected to fill that role that Sarah had. And then you've got you had to fill the right side with Anna Smrek leaving. So they got Grace Lopez out of Miami, a very highly coveted transfer portal pickup for them there. And then they added Grace Egan, someone who had her best game, 22 kills here in Madison. She transfers from Ohio State. So it's kind of interesting how you have to balance things. And there were questions after last season, but I think at least on paper, those questions have been answered as far as what this team is going to look like, and now we just have to get into the thing that I know Kelly likes doing most, and that's just mold the team.
So how does, and obviously maybe you ask Coach Sheffield this, but how do you balance the transfers, and how has the program done that as far as bringing in transfers, but you have players who are here, and you hear about football and basketball, constantly recruiting your own players, but also making sure that you're adding players to fill in holes if you are, let's say you don't have someone ready to go.
Yeah. It's one of those things where you just kind of fill the holes, right?
Yep.
And the thing that I think works best for this team is that they compete. Everybody competes, and nothing's guaranteed. And just like when Sarah got here, nothing was guaranteed for Sarah. She had to earn everything, all her playing time. And I think that culture is what can help balance out if you've got transfer portals, but somebody's been here and this person, nothing's given to you. So just competition makes everyone better, and overall, if everyone is better, your team should be better. So I think that's kind of the philosophy, that if that answers the question.
No, it's a great answer. And it's just we always talk about football. We always talk about basketball. We did that in the jump around today with the transfer portal. It's always a conversation. The jump around is our Badger dedicated digital show that is airing twice this week, but it's a constant conversation. But I don't think we address it enough with Badger volleyball.
I think it's the culture. I think it's you come in here and you say, listen, nothing is guaranteed. And if you're not living up to the standards or the numbers that we need from you, and this person is, well, then you're probably going to get some of that playing time, chopped down. But it's, I think Kelly said, and Dennis Punzel's here, by the way, too.
Oh, nice.
Beat reporter.
Yeah.
There are like 3 legs of recruiting now. It's not just high school. It's transfer portal, and it's international. So there's you're picking from all these pools all the time, and this is the new way you build a team.
A little bit of, and it's not necessarily breaking news, but it's more of I feel like sometimes we live in the Matrix, John.
Okay.
And I just got a text from Primetime Lowersheim. We were just talking about the jump around. And we had a little brainstorm today with Pablo Iglesias, my new co-host on the jump around. And we said, hey, who are some people we might want in the offseason when they're free? One of the names I threw out there was Daryl Bevel. I remember him as a Badger quarterback.
Yeah.
And I've shared a story before about my college roommate, Cale Kirby, is with the Chiefs now, which is why I got hooked up some Chiefs gear, and my kids did too. But he was an intern for the Packers. So I actually had Daryl Bevel's one-time game-worn shoes as a coach because he'd bring home shoes once in a while, and Daryl Bevel
Bevel's game-worn coaching
Air
shoes.
Max, whatever.
Oh, cool.
They're no cleats or anything. They're just regular
Yeah.
shoes. But I was like, I'm a college kid. I'll take free shoes. They were worn once or twice, and so I was like, I'll take them. So I had a pair of those, and Daryl Bevel was coaching with the Packers at that point, and he's been kind of bouncing around the league, and I was like, oh, maybe we try to get Daryl Bevel. And we're like, oh, where's he at anyways? Oh, he's with Miami. And then literally Tom Pelissaro reports, the Raiders interviewed Dolphins quarterback coach, passing game coordinator Daryl Bevel for their offensive coordinator job today. And he has a tie to Pete Carroll because he's been offensive coordinator before with Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson back in the day. Well, John, thank you for the time. Listen back, Wisconsin on Demand, Apple, Spotify, and those great places. We're going to turn it over here at North and South Seafood Smokehouse in Verona. John Adias hosting an event for Badger Volleyball. Thanks for listening. It's been Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
American